and welcome. My name is Kate Griffiths from Whole Self Leadership, and I'm coming on today because I want to talk to you about the 6th chapter of our book, which is How Not to Be Afraid. And this is an amazing book because it dissects fear. So I want to ask you a question. Have you ever felt alone? And have you ever felt fear of being alone? It may not be a recent thing, it may have been when you were a child. But actually, what I love about this book is how deep it goes. It really gets you to start thinking about what sits beneath a fear. And one of the things that Gareth does as he unpicks the fear of being as alone is to say that a lot of society is based on fear, a lot of the things that we do. So if we go back in time, thousands of years when we were nomads and wandering across the plains, there was a basic fear of survival, and we knew that as long as we stayed with the pack, with our group, we were more likely to be safe and eat and not be eaten. And so there's this real need to belong from right at the beginning, because we didn't want to be left to fend for ourselves, because we probably knew that we wouldn't survive the wild animals in that sort of scenario. So that's part of what drives this fear. It's sort of ancestral, it's hanging on from a long time ago. And beneath that is possibly a fear of rejection, which interestingly, when we started our book group last month, was a fear that many really resonated with, and isn't one that Gareth tackles directly, but this fear of rejection and then modifying our behaviour so that we're accepted and we fit in. And I wonder if you can relate to that, having been in that place. And often that fear can really push us to perhaps, when you get triggered and you have a reaction to something, that if you look underneath that anger, there might be that fear of rejection or the fear of abandonment. And so what's the antidote to that? And Gareth suggests that it comes through understanding what sits in that fear, and that's that desire, that longing to be known, to be seen, to be heard, to be accepted, to be understood. So if that's the case, then we can actually help ourselves by becoming our own best friend, by really loving all of ourselves, all the weird and wonderful eccentricities that make us who we are. And so he talks about becoming our own best friend, and I wanted to share a Spritzer with you today that might help in a way. So this is called wood, and it came up in one of my recent readings, because wood is, in the Chinese system of the 5 elements, is the element that's associated with spring. And we've had the 1st of February in bulk, and so we're actually coming into spring. And spring is a time of hope and new beginnings. So I think this would be a really good Spritzer to work with if you're struggling with this idea of being known or being your own best friend. And how do we go about that? Sounds really easy, but what does it entail? And I want to share with you a practice, and it could take you up to 6 to 10 minutes, but we're going to do it quite quickly for now, and you can take your time over doing it. So just find your favourite seat, or if you've got a meditation cushion, you might want to get that out. And just start by regulating your breathing, focusing on your breath. You might, if you find it hard to meditate, want to count in to a count of 4 and out to a count of 4, or even to elongate your out breath to a count of 8. And then when you feel more settled, add in the following words: I am being made by love and for love. And then pause and take those words in, absorb them into your core, into the very beingness of you. And then say, I am being made by love. And pause again to allow yourself to integrate those words into your beingness. And then when you've done that for a minute or so, You can say, I am being made. And allow yourself time to take those words in. And then you end with these two words, I am. And you may want to repeat that more than once, is to allow it to sink in, to soak it all up, to know that actually all there is love. And even if you had a terrible start in life with birth parents that didn't meet your needs, there's this lovely sort of, I believe that there are many beings around us, and if we ask them, they will support us. But you can take it in terms of mothers and fathers, and there's actually a Gaelic word, because Gareth Higgins is Irish, which is, and I'm probably going to muller this, is Eolath, E-O-L-A-T-H. And it's this sense of being mothered and fathered by many. Because we aren't, and even by ourselves, part of our maturity is recognising that we need to self-parent. We need to heal, help and support the wounded child within. So I hope that's been helpful. And if you enjoyed it or you've got questions, please leave them in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching. Lots of love and go well until we meet again. Bye for now.